Galaxy Digital shares jumping more than 13% yesterday. This after the main Texas grid operator there approved the expansion of the company's Helios data center. Now, the power capacity is going to climb to more than 1.6 gigawatts. Joining us with what this means for Galaxy and the future of AI infrastructure, Michael Novogratz, Galaxy's founder and CEO. Good morning to you. I know we were going to try to get you on the broadcast yesterday, and then, of course, this news was taking place. So I'm glad that we could actually talk to you today about this and so much more that's happening in crypto. Of course, also questions about what kind of legislation will ultimately get passed or not in Washington. But let's start with this news, Michael, and try to explain to the audience what it means for Galaxy, but also so how it works.
Now, listen, so, in 2022, we bought a Bitcoin mining facility because we wanted to have someone to plug our Bitcoin mines in. And, 2 years later, when everyone started playing with ChatGPT, we started looking into it and this idea that AI compute would need so much power. And a lot of the Bitcoin miners had big swaths of energy, power. We were one of them. And so at that point, we had 800 megawatts approved to use. So you apply to in this case, it's the Texas grid managed by a group called ERCOT. Texas has its own grid, and the other 49 states have a grid. You got to love Texas. Texas, where we are in Dickens County, has a tremendous amount of power. Energy was cheap. That's why we went there, because they had built tons of wind, tons of solar, tons of natural gas. And so there's a process that you apply for the ability to use more power from that grid. And it's a lengthy process because they go and have to say, if you use that power, does the grid have enough electricity without driving prices crazy? This is a big deal in the U.S. right now is people say, hey, we don't want to see consumer prices driven up because of all these AI data centers. And so we went through that process. It was more than a year long. The people in Texas are working really hard because everyone decided they wanted energy, right? So they're looking, can you actually build what you're going to say you're going to build? Do you have the capital? And more importantly, if we give you that power, is it going to impact the grid? And so we got all that approved. And so now we have another 830 megawatts. There is a lineup of people that want power, right? There's a huge demand from the hyperscalers for power this side of 2030. And so we will be in negotiation and conversation with, you can guess the 5 or 6 players.
So let me ask you, so this is going to be a huge boon, obviously, to Galaxy. There's a public policy question about energy and the sort of AI complex right now, which is when you make these deals with a municipality like the one that you did, oftentimes, and I don't know in your case, and I'm curious about it, some of these hyperscalers have managed to effectively get 100% uptime, or effectively more uptime, meaning that the energy gets prioritized to them over potentially the municipality, if in fact something happens where there's an energy shortage, that effectively the power goes there first, it gets prioritized, and that's become a public policy question. How does it work in your case?
That's not the case in Texas, right? And so when it was a Bitcoin mine, you had the ability to actually shut your Bitcoin miners down. You can't do that in AI, but you build a tremendous amount of backup power, so generators, diesel generators, or other battery type power, so you can actually run the data center without the grid for short periods of time. All of this stuff is new, and so the rules are being made as they go. And so one of the things that had been frustrating for people in Texas is for the data center people in Texas, I should say, is that they had really slowed the process immensely at ERCOT, at the group that runs the grid, to try to make sure they answer all these questions. Right. Because, listen, this is going to be political all over the country. And so I think Texas is taking a pretty smart approach. They got much more cautious, and we feel really blessed to have gotten through the process.
How do you think investors should be thinking about the valuation of your company in the context of this, what is a significant sort of departure in some ways, potentially long-term in terms of revenue for the company, away from crypto? and what kind of multiple they're going to ultimately put on you in that context versus the rest of the business that you're doing.
Yeah, listen, we are now a holding company with a very large data center company. We already have 800 megawatts leased to CoreWeave. You know, that's a lease that's over $15 billion of rent that comes in. We have another 800 megawatts that we will lease out hopefully soon. And there's a lot of growth potential in that bucket. And so that's a company that's going to get its own multiple. You know, there's a lot of comps out there. Morgan Stanley put out a nice research paper on what they thought just this deal was worth, which was over half our stock price. And then we have a crypto business, which is, you know, we're down in D.C. I spent a day and a half down there this week. I fundamentally think a bill is going to get done in the next few weeks. The Democratic senators in earnest want to get something done. The Republican senators in earnest want to get something done. These are complicated bills. I mean, it would be complicated if me and you sat down and tried to write the bill. But when everyone is pushing for their own agenda.
Right. Well, let me ask you about the bill, because I think there's maybe many more sticking points than that. But the two that people focus on right now is just what authorities the CFTC has versus the SEC, and perhaps maybe the bigger one. And you hear people like Brian Moynihan get asked about it, and others, just about stable coins and what, you know, how they will work and whether, depending on what they're allowed to be able to do, whether ultimately you're going to have a lot of money coming out of the banking system and what that means to credit in the country.
Yeah, listen, this is an issue that the banks have brought up, and they have an amazing lobbying army, right? So they have come down, and one of the reasons the bill is stalled is the banks are saying, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. If you go to JP Morgan right now, or Bank of America, or any of the big banks, and you put money in a savings account, you get about 11 basis points or 1 basis point. So the banks are making a tremendous amount of money holding our savings and depositing at the Fed at 3.5%, 4%. They worry that stable coins could have deposit flight. The reality is,
well, but just to be clear, they worry if stable coins are allowed to effectively accrue interest or some other kind of points or other things, that there would be deposit flight. That is right now. That's the central issue, because they're not allowed to technically yet.
Yes. Or the banks would have to raise their interest, pay the consumer maybe a fair rate, and make less money. Right? It's so interesting. Whenever you have a new technology that's disruptive, the incumbents say, no, we don't want to give up our monopoly. They are using community banks as a shield, saying, oh my God, it's supposed to be deposit flight from community banks. The reality is, if people wanted to move out of community banks at low interest rate, they could move to SoFi or tons of the neobanks that already offer much better deposit rates. Deposits are sticky. There will be deposit flight that will happen slowly. But remember, stablecoins are mostly a way of U.S. projecting power to the rest of the world. Right? Stablecoins are used overseas. And if you don't allow some interest or some mechanism to generate interest on stablecoins, you're going to continue with this monopoly where Tether has the majority of overseas stablecoins. And so hard to compete with the incumbent unless you can, offer something different. I do think that there will be a compromise on this. I don't think it will be great for crypto, but I think it'll be fine. And for me, I just keep saying, we got to get this bill passed so we can move on and the industry can start growing. And if it's not perfect, who cares? We'll fix it in time.